How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is a 1 year in carnivore video. So for those of you who have been watching from the start, my first video was February 1st, 2024. It's now February 1st, 2025. The last video recorded was 6 months ago. The reason why I stopped making recordings, as I said at the time, was because, well, everything was more or less the same. I was giving the same results for basically the previous 3 videos. So I wanted to leave it for 6 months and report in 1 year later. And here I am, just keeping to that promise. So the first thing I want to just get out of the way for those who are just interested in the weight side of things. 6 months ago, I was weighing in at 92 kilos. 12 months ago, I was weighing in at 110 kilos. So I'd lost 18 kilos in the 6 months, and I'm still 92 kilos as of this morning. So no additional weight has been lost in the 6 months. If you're interested in finding out what's happened in the last 6 months, that's what this video is about. Getting straight into the stats, which I'll put down below in the description as well. 12 months ago, 110 kilos. Now 92 kilos, which is 14.5 stone or 203 pounds. My waist, I was coming in at 40 inches, and that's 101 centimeters. I've lost 10 centimeters, so basically 10%. I'm down to 91 centimeters, which is 36 inches. Now, what does that mean in clothing? So beforehand, I was wearing a 2XL in tees or t-shirts or shirts or whatever. Now I'm wearing a large. This is actually the only tee that I have left from before 12 months ago. When I got this, I picked this up in Houston in the US. And it was tight on me at the time, quite tight. Now it's a little loose, but I refuse to get rid of it because I like it. So all my other clothes I've had to get rid of. I'll get into that in just a moment. My jeans, or pants or trousers, whatever. I was coming in at a 38 inches. Now it's important to stress that 38 was. I was kind of at 36. I was okay. I wasn't happy with it. Once I got to kind of 38, I really wasn't happy with that. My jeans were uncomfortable. They were constantly kind of just chafing on me, and I was actually at a tight 38. I should have been kind of 39. 40 was a little bit too large, but 39 would have been kind of a more comfortable fit. But I kind of stuck with 38. I'm now in at a 32. And they're quite comfortable. I can easily slip my hands down in between my waistband and my waist. So I could actually squeeze myself into a 30, but 32 is comfortable, and I'm quite happy with that. Now, on to what I eat. So before I say what I eat, I'm going to say what I had been eating. So kind of for the first 3 months, I was strictly ruminant meats. I was quite strict on what I was eating. I was, even preparing my own meat. I'd go to the butchers. I'd get a chuck and cut that up, and I'd make my own sausages with pork belly and all that kind of stuff. And I'd add my own seasoning, which was basically just salt and pepper, and all that was good for a while. Became a little bit of a pain in the ass to do, so I, kind of allowed myself to be more flexible. Otherwise, I would have probably failed and just, went back to eating what I was eating. So from the start, I decided that I was going to allow myself a little bit of flexibility in this if I wanted. That meant that my mornings generally consisted of a ham and cheese omelette at work with let's say a glass of milk, full fat milk. I'd have usually 2 steaks for lunch, dinner, and if I only had 1 steak, I would then have a portion of cheese and maybe a bar of dark chocolate. In the mornings, I would have had an electrolyte tablet here or pill, and that was I got these because I had heard that people were getting serious kind of hangover feelings when they started the carnivore diet in the first place, and or they would get muscle cramps. So I did my research beforehand. I got these. I've been taking these for months. I haven't taken any of these in months because I don't need them anymore. I've definitely settled into what I'm eating. Most days I'll also take one of these effervescent vitamin C tablets, and just so I get my vitamin C in there for no other reason other than that. And it also make me drink water first thing in the morning, even though it's only a small amount. Right, what am I eating now? Well, at work they've shut down the omelette counter. So what I'll generally have, I'd have 2 fried sausages and a fried egg. I might get a piece of bacon as well, and I'll have my glass of milk with that too. Lunch, most days I will usually have a steak, or I'll have ham or a couple of sausages. Later on in the evening I'll have probably a bar of chocolate with a glass of milk and a portion of cheese. Again, that's pretty much what I stick to. I do kind of I wouldn't really call it falling off the wagon. It's a conscious choice. I'll still have the occasional southern fried breast of chicken, so that's covered in breadcrumbs. So you've got your carbs in there, you've got other ingredients that aren't meat, and I'll have a battered sausage, and I'll have it with garlic dip or sauce. I'll also have the occasional zero soda or soft drink, maybe a Coke Zero or a Sprite Zero or something like that. Occasionally, this isn't every day or even every other day, it's maybe once a week. I might even have a beer. Well, generally not a beer, like maybe a cider. So, I mean, for example, last night I went out with my wife. We kind of sat at the harbour in the car. We, had a small takeaway. I had a breast of chicken, I had a battered sausage, and I had a Sprite Zero. We then went into a bar restaurant afterwards, and she had a glass of cider. I had a pint of cider. And that was it. No guilt there. Wasn't thinking about it. It's well within my limits. I'm quite happy with where I'm kind of going, what I'm doing at the moment. Right, back to this. So what I'm eating now: sausage and egg with milk, steak or ham with water, cheese or dark chocolate with milk later on in the evening, and the occasional slippage. Now, I have had a couple of weeks here and there where I've had pretty much like a few days on the trot, just eating poorly. Now, I haven't been eating French fries or chips or anything like that, or going way off the beaten track, but just eating, a little too much chocolate. Maybe I'll get, 2 pieces of chicken, southern fried, 2 nights in a row, or, that's what I consider kind of, going off track, eating unhealthy. And if you do that for a couple of days, 3-4 days in a row, whatever, then I'd notice some of the old ailments kind of starting to come back, which brings me on to the ailments. I'm just going to list them here real quick. What I had beforehand, suffering basically on a daily basis, and where I am now. So first thing was scalp sores. I had kind of constant scalp sores. I'd like have spots or zits on my crown, bad dandruff. So my skin kind of flaking off. It was itchy, it was uncomfortable, kind of gross. So do I have that now? No, it's completely gone. I've only noticed it slightly returning, like a little bit of dandruff, if I've had a few days in a row where I'm eating crap. So that's gone, thankfully. Headaches? No, haven't had a single headache in the last 12 months. Brain fog? No, unless I've had a few days of eating poorly, I might feel a little bit groggy, a little bit of brain fog, but otherwise, no. Low energy, my energy levels have been quite consistent, medium to high. Even if I've eaten crap for a few days, my energy levels are generally quite consistent. I might get very hungry first thing in the morning after I've eaten, let's say, 2-3 days in a row, not very well. So my hunger levels will really shoot up there, but otherwise, my energy levels and hunger levels are quite consistent. Pain, other than the chronic lower back pain I mentioned previously, I'm not getting any other pains anywhere. My neck and shoulder pain is generally only as a result of poor posture. If I'm leaning over a desk or, I'm just on the computer for a few hours, yeah, I mean, I'm going to get pain just like anybody, but I'm not getting like just kind of random pains in my neck and shoulders, at least not on a daily basis. And if I do get any, they're very, very mild. So to a level where I'd say, no, I don't have them, at least not more than the average healthy person. Right, chest infections, no. I used to get these several times a year. In fact, I was constantly phlegmy. Now I don't get that. I haven't had really so much as the sniffles. I've had a little bit of congestion with people in the house, like my family have been dying here with colds and flus and whatever, and I've been absolutely fine, which is unusual because I'm usually the first person that gets sick and the last person to get better. Now I'm the one who doesn't get sick at all, so thumbs up there. Chest pain, I used to get that quite regularly and concerning, wondering, was I kind of a candidate for a heart attack, that kind of a level. I've had two, maybe three in the last, I suppose in the last 6 months, not in the last year, because I've been a bit more relaxed with the diet, where I've had a quick kind of pain that lasted literally less than a second. But again, that's only been if I'd been eating poorly. So essentially no, but all cards on the table here. Yes, I have had it a couple of times, but I'm 99% better. 99.5% better, considering how regularly I had chest pain and the consistency of it now. Stamina definitely has improved, even though my exercise hasn't changed, which is essentially zero. A little bit of walking, a little bit of working. Another baby due in 6 weeks' time from the time of this video, so you can consider that stamina. Acid reflux, no, don't get it anymore. Bowel cramps, no. I've had it a couple of times again if I've eaten a few days in a row, not very well. I've had slight discomfort in my bowels, but nothing like I used to. No need to run to the toilet or anything like that. Diarrhea, no, haven't had that since. So all good there. Right, just to kind of finish this video off now in the next couple of minutes, I want to give some of the negatives of this diet and lifestyle. Even though I haven't been strictly carnivore, I've been primarily carnivore, definitely meat-based. Right, so it can be inconvenient at times. If I was to be strict carnivore and only go to the restaurant and just have a steak with just salt on there and pay between 30 and 50 euro for that steak and not have anything else, that's an imposition as well as inconvenient. I like to kind of go out and relax a little bit. So if I'm out at a restaurant, all right, I'm not going to order chips, french fries, carbs, potatoes, any of that kind of stuff. But I might get chicken wings with Frank's hot sauce or something like that. I'll generally stick to meat and I'll avoid the veg side of things. And I'll kind of limit while I'm drinking. So if I'm having a drink, I might have one beer or one cider or 1 zero soft drink, and that works for me. So while it is kind of negative imposition, if you're a little bit more relaxed on it, it's not so much of an inconvenience. What else? Meat is more expensive. So if you kind of had a varied diet before, or particularly if you're coming from, vegetarian or vegan, and you've developed all of these illnesses and ailments because of that really unhealthy diet for you, and now you're moving to meat, you're going to notice it's much more expensive. For me, just off the top of my head, I'm probably paying an extra 50% on my food costs because I'm strictly eating meat. I'm not supplementing that with any fruit or vegetables. However, that's a really narrow, short-term, in my opinion, really shitty purview of looking at it, because while it's costing more in the now, a little bit extra on food on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis, eating more healthily is going to add years to your life. It's going to reduce your health problems now and later on in life. So you're not going to be spending that time, and you're not going to be suffering in pain. So yes, it's more expensive monetarily now, but it is absolutely worth it. So that's not even an issue there that I'm going to put out there. I did want to add as a negative, because yes, you're going to put more money up front. Just like if you're buying an electric vehicle, it's probably going to cost you an extra 5,000 euros or dollars or whatever, but your savings go in because you're not purchasing gas or petrol or diesel. You're filling up your car at home with cheap electricity. So, kind of look at it that way. Right. The cost to buy new clothes is not cheap, especially if you have expensive taste, which thankfully I don't. I'll wear my Diesel or jeans or my Tommy Hilfigers or whatever. I'm not a Versace guy or anything like that. So yes, it'll cost me hundreds and hundreds of euro, or has cost me hundreds of euro. I've had to pass on all of my old clothes and buy new clothes. And this is literally the only item I have left that I can think of anyway, that I had from before 12 months ago. Positives, I feel much better. I have essentially no ailments. I'm thinner. I look better because I'm thinner. My face is slimmer. People notice that, they give you compliments. That can be positive and negative. Sometimes it's a little bit annoying when the same people are saying, Jesus, you've lost more weight. Well, I've maintained my weight in the last 6 months, so I'm not getting as much of that, and people are now used to, the new me. Because my weight is down, obviously a big positive is I'm much healthier. When I got my bloods taken 12 months ago, I was told that my cholesterol levels were high. Not high enough for medication, but high enough to be of some concern. And I also had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. 6 months later, I got my bloods taken, and my last video, I'd given details on that. That's all good. My non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is gone. It's reversed. My cholesterol levels, despite eating all of that unhealthy red meat, my cholesterol levels went down, not up. Everybody was saying, oh, you're eating meat, your cholesterol levels are going to go up. No, they actually went down, so that's all good. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover there, guys. But for those of you who are watching this video and haven't watched any of the previous videos, I implore you to go back and watch the first episode. To summarize it, if you want to take on the carnivore diet, you don't have to be ultra strict and do the lion diet, where it's essentially just steak or rumenoid meats and water and just salt for seasoning. You have to find something that works for you. So if that means that you're going to have dairy in there, like me, so I'll drink milk and I'll eat cheese. I'll occasionally have full fat yogurt as well, no flavor. That's what you need to do. If you cannot give up your coffee right now, you don't have to. The more steps that you take in the positive direction, the better. But let's say you have sugar in your coffee. Okay, look, ditch the sugar. Give yourself a couple of days and you realize you don't actually need that sugar. And eventually you might be able to, stop drinking the coffee too. Find what works for you. And that's what's going to keep you on the track. If I just went for the line diet, I guarantee you I would have failed. I would have maybe lasted 3 months, and then I would have went back to what I was eating, and I'd be back to square one or worse off again. And chances are I'd be more than 110 kilos. So find out what works for you. Be prepared, do your research, all right? You're going to get a lot of different information everywhere, and I'm just telling you what worked for me, and I'm just being honest about what I've done and what's worked for me. A very important thing, electrolytes, okay? You don't want the hangover of going on the line diet or the carnivore or the carnivore-ish diet or whatever you want to call it, whatever ism it happens to be. Get some electrolytes into on a daily basis. It'll either completely get rid of that potential hangover and it'll also stop the muscle cramps that you could get from lack of electrolytes. Trust me, it's painful when that happens. I don't get any muscle cramps because I have been taking these for the first 6 months. I actually don't take them anymore. I don't need them, but I have them there just in case. Vitamin C, effervescence. I don't get sick anymore. Now, Jesus, I'll probably stop recording this video and develop a cold and die. But anyway, since I have been taking these and had been taking these and have been eating healthier, while everybody else in the house has gotten sick and everybody else at work has gotten sick, I haven't. I've been healthy, I've been strong, I've been good. So, do I recommend this kind of diet and lifestyle? Yeah, absolutely. I haven't even exercised. I haven't changed anything else other than what I'm eating. And everything has been just so positive. So yeah, give it a try, guys. If you have any questions, ask down in the comments. I generally respond to everybody that sends in a comment or a question. If you're interested in any other kind of content that I create, I do some kind of solar DIY as well on the channel. Give me a like, subscribe, show me a little bit of love. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably come back and report on Carnivore in another year's time, or if something drastic happens. But other than that, it's going to be the other kind of content on the channel. Guys, have a good one. Take care of yourselves.